Hi everyone, how's it going? This is attorney Moumita Rahman. I'm an attorney here doing immigration law in New York City and across the nation. How's everyone doing? I hope that everyone's doing well. Today is March 9th, I believe, and it's a Monday, so I hope everyone's week is getting off to a great start. Here in New York City, we're all getting a little bit worried about the coronavirus and about what it means because if you've ever been in New York City and you've taken the trains, you know that we're in close contact with so many people every single day, and colds can be caught very easily. So we're worried about the coronavirus. Last week, the immigration court in Newark, New Jersey, was shut down because apparently there was somebody there who was infected, and we don't know what's going to be happening. If you have any interviews coming up at USCIS this week, or you have any court and you have any hearings, just make sure you pay attention to the news. You can also check the status of whether a court has been shut down on Twitter. Sometimes you can also just check online. Sometimes you can just call up the hotline for USCIS customer service. Anyway, that's a tip. Make sure you stay on top of this if you have an interview coming up this week or if you have a hearing in immigration court. So, what I wanted to talk to you today was about removal of conditions. I know I've covered this topic in the past, but I'm happy to report that this past year I have filed a record number of I-751 removal of condition applications for clients for whom I did the first green card application. So, it's a really wonderful journey for me to take a couple that is sometimes very recently married, help them get a green card. And now 2 years later, we're ready to apply for the removal of conditions. And, hopefully everything goes well. And then the couple is well on their way to filing for citizenship. And, people get very worried about this, understandably so, because we want to make sure that when you file your removal of conditions application, you file it with as much evidence as possible. Because usually the government can waive your interview the second time around. There were some policy updates that they made last year where they said that every single I-751 would be subject to an interview, but the officers are already overwhelmed with doing interviews for regular marriage and family-based green card applications. And for them to all of a sudden have to add on all these other interviews for I-751s really would create a big burden. So the past year, what I've noticed is that I have not had one single interview for any of the I-751s that I filed. And I attribute this to the planning that I do and the serious talk that I have with my clients that, listen, once you get approved for a green card, if you're going to be receiving a 2-year conditional green card, don't take it easy. It doesn't mean that it's over. You still have to go through another step in order to receive the 10-year permanent green card in about 2 years. And these 24 months are going to pass by very, very quickly. So make sure that you keep doing all of your joint accounts, your joint bank statements. For God's sake, please make sure you do a joint tax filing. Make sure you're not filing your taxes as a single person. Make sure at the very least it says that you're married, filing separately. But ideally, you want to make sure that your tax filing is joint. Make sure you have joint leases. Make sure you do everything that you can within your power to make sure that your spouse is the beneficiary for your health insurance, medical insurance, anything that you have. You can get life insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, car insurance, all sorts of things. But make sure you don't just sit back on your laurels and think that everything is done. You got your 2-year green card and you don't have to do anything else. It is simply not true because you still have to file your I-751. And let's say you don't have a lot of evidence when you're filing this application, then what should you do? Well, you can go ahead and still file it with whatever you have, but I would expect that you're going to receive a request for evidence. So even after you file your I-751, make sure you do whatever you can to say, oh my gosh, we never actually made the utility bills joint. We never actually put my name on this credit card. Well, if you didn't do it by the time that you file your I-751, you still have an opportunity to do that work right now. And that way, if you do happen to get the request for evidence in 6 to 8 months after you file, then at least you still have some things that you can send. And this is a very document-heavy process, so you really want to do your work in accumulating as many documents as possible. So that's what I would say. Another thing that people get very worried about when they're filing their I-751 is the time. When are you actually supposed to file your I-751? And remember, the expiration date on your green card is the very last day that you can file your I-751. Let's say your card expires on June 1st, 2020. That means that if you get your application into USCIS after June 1st, then it's late, okay? But if you can get it in beforehand, you should. And you should get it in within about, I would say, 3 months before June 1st, 90 days. 90 days is this very specific cutoff. If you send it in before 90 days, then your application will actually be rejected. And obviously, if you miss the expiration date, then it will get rejected as well. So there are some special circumstances where you can file your I-751 before 90 days and even after the expiration, but that is a whole other discussion and I can't get into that today. But if you want to learn more about it, let me know, leave me a comment and I'll cover it in another video. So that's about it. Just wanted to, again, remind you that if you have any interviews at USCIS or if you have court, make sure you check the hotlines and online to make sure that things have not been shut down because of the coronavirus. And, that's it. I hope everyone has a great week. I'm enjoying my coffee right here, and I'll see you all soon. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. For proper legal advice on your case, please call us to set up a consultation.